Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. Today I'm starting in Proverbs 21, verse 14, and I'm hoping that we can have a Bible study together, seated across the table with our Bibles open, and making comments on each other's interpretation, sharing each other's comments. Let other people see what we have to say, and hopefully they'll want to comment as well. So let this be open and feel free. So Proverbs 21:14, a gift in secret pacifieth anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. Now, Abigail had the sense enough to send gifts to David to pacify his presumed anger in 1 Samuel 25, as did Jacob to Esau in Genesis 32. Notice how anger and wrath are at the end of each phrase of this proverb, showing that they are synonymous. In other places, wrath is shown to be abiding anger and results in action. Genesis 49:7, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and for their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. One of the things to stress about this verse is that the gift, the reward, is given without prior notice of intention to do so. It's a surprise. Many a husband has brought flowers home to his wife to pacify her anger, as many a wife has made a man's favorite meal to abate his. Parents have received a bouquet of dandelions from a small child, and the thought ran through their heads, what has he done? There are things that Christ has told his followers to do in secret without broadcasting their actions. He told the Jews, still under the law, to give their alms to help the poor without identifying themselves for the glory of their kindness. Matthew 6:1. Take heed that you do not do your alms before men, to be seen of them. Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Now he warned them against phony, long-winded, and very public prayers in the passage before he gave them a model of how to pray. So verse 5 through 8 said, and when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and let thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. Later on, he tells them not to let other people know they are fasting by their appearance and behavior, verses 16 to 18 of that chapter. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as hypocrites do, of a sad countenance, or they disfigure their faces, that it may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head, wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. This is some very good arguments against what is called today virtue signaling. Christians, especially conservative fundamental Christians, like to show people by some sign or some whether it's a lapel pin or whatever, that I'm a Christian. They call it fly your Christian flag. Well, the way to fly your Christian flag is to do what God has told you to do. That's the only way that God approves. It's not something you do publicly to make yourself look like a wonderful person. It's what you do privately. It's what you do before God and not men. So there are principles in these passages that I just read that would benefit the Christian were he or she to follow them. Things that we do publicly for everyone to see have a reward in that public approval and acknowledgement. Things we do privately where no one can applaud us tend to be more meaningful. They're more meaningful to God. As Christians with the Spirit of God living inside each of us, we're not giving gifts to God in secret to pacify his anger or appease his wrath. We offer up prayers of blessings, extolling God and praising him because we love him and are thankful for what he's done for us. Your giving of an extra healthy offering at church is not going to smooth over the fact that you're a violence-loving idolater who worships entertainment personalities and who's addicted to pornography, if that happens to be the case. So while this verse might not apply to the Christian on the surface, as he's not living under some kind of warped inherited nobility, the persons of which must be bought off to keep them from killing him or stealing his possessions, the principle of giving in secret and doing your works for God without blowing a trumpet before you, I think is valid. Anything you do for God should be done privately and without fanfare. We have far too many peacocks among the men of the leadership in Christianity, strutting about in expensive suits and immaculately shined shoes, doing what they consider great works for Jesus Christ. I'm not so sure God is as impressed with them as they are with themselves, or as their fans are. I believe that there is an accounting concept called goodwill, where a benefit is gained not from the profit value of a particular item, but from the reputation gained by the performing of it. So I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that a corporation that has an officer's picture taken giving an oversized check to a charity is seeking to gain an advantage for its reputation by giving to some socially acceptable and worthy cause. So, Christian, you could do that from a personal standpoint to gain an advantage and a positive reputation, or you could do something for God, but you can't do both. Some would even go so far as to say that if you give money to God's service, such as your church organization, and deduct it from your income taxes at the end of the year, you've gotten your reward, and your efforts are not for God, but you received an earthly reward. They were for you. Keep this in mind the next time you're writing that check to go into the offering plate. So, notice a lot of controversy in some of the things I said, but I hope that you'll feel free to comment. Now, I'm going to ask you to read your Bible and take some time to study your Bible, cross-reference the verses, and pray to God for wisdom and understanding, and then share your interpretation with someone else. Open the Bible and let God speak to you through His Word first and foremost. Now, you can purchase my comments on Amazon. You can read them for free on blogger.com. But if you followed this video this far, would you please click like and subscribe or follow and share the video with someone else? Oh, and of course, please comment. Let me know what you think, yay or nay. I appreciate it.